Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Akash Shinde, and in this video we are going to have a candid conversation with Himanshu. So in this video we are going to discuss all the things that he prepared for this mock interview as well as the final interview for Welingkar. So welcome back to our channel, Himanshu. How are you?
Thank you. I'm fine. How are you?
I'm fine. So Himanshu, a lot of students are going to watch this podcast as well as the session. So could you elaborate more about your background, 10th, 12th, UG, then corporate project, live project, work experience, academic project, whatever
Yeah.
you had in your bucket?
Right. Before I start, just want to make sure that there is no background noise coming from my headphones.
No.
Okay, so the voice is perfectly clear.
Yes.
Right. Okay. I'm from Karnataka actually, and I do have more than 1 year of work experience. Starting with the scores actually. So I have a 777 in my 10th, 12th, and undergraduate. My undergraduate being the highest, I have 78.5. And I actually have a very holistic profile. Like in my UG, I worked on a esports startup called as UG Esports. I had scaled it to over 19 million views with around 57 million impressions, had like 72,000 players in it. And we also work with global companies like ESPL, Supercell, all of the events that we are doing globally in Clash of Clans. All of that was actually not in collaboration, but so was sort of funded by Supercell actually. Now, other than that, like it's still on, but I personally think that esports in India is very raw, and if things are not changed, it's dying. It will die eventually. So we had to like sort of halt the operations in esports division, and we had to shift towards graphics and video editing and all that. Other than that, I have a business. The name is Blue Hills. We sort of rent vehicles inside the industries, and that alone is making me stand out from many candidates in terms of revenue and the profits that I'm making. So these are the two things that I have on my plate right now. And I'm also trying to work on another startup called as Catch My Bus. So if I had to describe it in one word, it's like where is my train, but for buses. And both of it, like short route, long route. I mean, the intercity and intercity, we are working on both of them. So I actually have a very holistic profile. So that's something about my profile actually.
That's quite interesting, being an entrepreneur and being a person who had been there and done that business. I think your profile suits a lot. So Himanshu, please elaborate more about your Welingkar interview. Since a lot of students are going to watch you, so can you explain where was your location? Uh, what was the duration of the
Mhm.
interview? And a lot of students are quite struggle to understand CSP test. So could you shed some light on it? Yeah.
CTPI test that they had. So I think what many B schools are doing this year is that they're replacing the extempore that they used to have in their in at their centers and replacing it with the online AI based CTPI process. Or I think even IMI is doing it this year. Great Lakes is already doing it with that Talently AI. So it's very normal. People should not freak out about it. You just have to be yourself and answer the questions. I think Wellinker's CTPI process is rather unique. What you have to do is, I think there are three sessions. In the first session, you have to uh, read out whatever it's written on the screen. In the second session, you have to fill in the blanks. Like the AI will say something, and you have to fill in the gaps of whatever the AI does not speak. Can't remember about the third section. There are three sections, I think. So it's very normal. It's like you hear a grammatically incorrect sentence, and in the hindsight you automatically start to correct it. So it's very simple. If you're like even average with your grammar and vocabulary, you can still do the CTPI very well. You don't have to freak out about that. Uh, about the interview experience. So I had selected Bangalore as my interview center because I live close to Bangalore, and my slot was in the morning around 7:45 was my reporting time. Now, the interview was very seamless. I mean, Wellinger is one of those colleges where you are sure that you won't be grilled at all. They just want to know you as a person. They don't want to grill you or something like the IMs. IM Kozhikode is famous for that. So this is not IM Kozhikode. This is Wellinger. Uh, my interviews was actually very seamless. So when I came into the center again, the Bangalore campus is very beautiful. When I came into the center, we were shifted to the second floor. We had to go through the whole document verification process, and I think Welingkar does it very seamlessly. It's very easy. You don't have to stress out on things that you have and things that you don't have. After the document verification, we went through a orientation process. Post that, we were made to sit in different halls where we went through the GD. And even I think even the GD topics for me actually was interesting. We had this topic on sustainability where we were giving a case study of a oil spillage that happened back in 2010 or something. I can't remember exact details. So all the seven, eight of us, we had to discuss on this. And they had pinpointed out two questions in the paper as well. So it's not like we had to make things out of thin air. Everything was given on the paper. We have to discuss on what's given. And that's what they take note of. After that, for interview, we were made to sit on the ground floor. I think I had to wait for around 40 minutes for my slot to arrive. And I mean, my interview, the people who were interviewing me, they were very chill. They did not. I mean, the moment I entered the room, I could see that charm in on their faces. So I think uh, now again, there were some interview rooms where people did not have a very pleasant experience. But then again, I think if you can put forth a good "tell me something about yourself" answer, I
Mm-hmm.
think your interview can go well. So when I got in, I got the very typical question TMA, and I tried to, keep it very diverse. Like I want to put forth all my aspects in the TMA in the shortest time possible. That is something that I try to do, and I believe that uh, the how your interview will go depends on the way you answer that TMA question. That is the foundation of how your interview is about to. If you just say that, oh, my name is this, I did this UG degree, I did this PG degree,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to do MBA because some chat GPT answers. I
Mm-hmm.
think that's something the interviewers can catch on to easily. That you are just prepared from an AI answer, and you don't really have that conviction. So they're trying to find that conviction in the interview. So in my case, I gave my TMA answer, and they wanted to know about my companies, my esports startup, and what I'm trying to do currently.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, because I had also applied for research and business analytics, so they also asked me a reason on why do you want to do RBA along with the PGDM core, which I answered, and they were satisfied with almost all my answers. After which they asked me what aspirations do I have after this MBA program. I gave them 2 points. Can't actually, like, again, this is not a good thing for me, but I can't remember my first answer. But the second answer that I gave to them was that I see capital.
Mm-hmm.
Now again, this was not like a general why MBA question. They were asking me something different, and I did give them a reason on why I see capital in my profile. I said to them, like, see, the VC culture is all attractive, glamorous, and fine, but narrative. A business can be a very good business, but at the same time, it does not mean that it's a VC investable business. You can crack X, you can earn in lakhs or crores or whatever it is, but it does not mean that a VC will be interested in you. So I said to them that, see, it's just my thinking that I need capital in my life to build more. I want to grow my business. I want to build more on it. So I said them I need capital, but in a way that it does not sound like I'm looking for placements. So it all depends on how you answer the question. After that, they did ask me, like, where do you see yourself in 10 years? To which I gave my own reasons, I gave my own answers. And it was a 15 minutes interview, and they were very happy with this. And they were also in sort of awe, like, the kind of aspirations and the things that I said for where do you see yourself in 10 years. So, a very, very chill interview for me.
Mm-hmm. So, Himanshu, how many panelists were there and how many questions were bombarded to you?
So there were two panelists. One was fairly young. He looked like a mid 30s or something, and the other one was visibly older with a bald head and a leathery neck. So he looked more experienced, and he was the one who was talking to me more with his experiences. And I think they asked me close to like 6 7 questions, and I did not receive any cross question or anything. They were just satisfied with all the answers.
Okay. Can you elaborate these questions to the audience?
Yeah, yeah. So, like I said, so the first question was, tell me something about yourself. To which I said, I mentioned my place, that where do I come from. I
Mm-hmm.
just put a fun banter that about the dust that is happening, because I live near a steel factory. So there is a lot of dust, and it's so fine that it just penetrates through my car covers. So every morning I just have a new hassle. So I just threw this banter in between of my TMA. And then I talked about my companies in my TMA, what I've done in UG Sports, what I do in Blue Hills, and the startup that I'm trying to build. So my TMA was more about my work experience. And then they asked me about my role in UG Sports, and I talked about what I did in operations. I talked about what I did in marketing, and I explained how did I scale these things up. I told about the people that I work with, the global companies and everything. Then they asked me about the proprietary business that I own currently. I told the operations of the company. I told about how we make profits, how we make revenue. That's what they wanted to know in depth. After that, I think they asked me about, what do I look forward to with this MBA program? To the same thing that I said that, I see capital, and the other answer I cannot remember. I think I might have said about credibility maybe because like my undergraduate is in biotechnology. I think I missed this in the first question that you asked to me. So I've done my undergraduation graduation in biotechnology, and I also have a research on my name. So I just told them, look, it won't be easy for me that if I just go ahead and say that, hey, I can help you with this business coming from a UG in biotechnology background. So an MBA for me will also provide me some sort of credibility. Now I'm more open. Now I'm more accepted in the community to say that, okay, I can do something about the business. So I think that's what was my first point was, and the second point was about the RBA. Okay, my screen says internet connection is unstable. Is my
Yeah.
voice clear? Just want to know.
Yes, your voice is quite clear. There's a little bit glitch from your side. Yeah,
Okay,
now it's
okay.
clear.
Maybe all right, all right. Yeah, so I'll continue this. So they asked me on, why do you want to pursue RBA? To which I answered that, look, while I was doing things in my esports, right? So and I asked this to him that, sir, do you see IPL? He said yes. Then I asked his second question. So if you have seen on those IPL or even the ICC T20 events, they just say that, they just showcase all the data and everything that, if you want to get Virat Kohli back into the pavilion, you have to pull an outswinger towards the fourth wicket, and that's how we just see Virat Kohli getting out these days. So I said, this kind of data that they show on IPL or ICC events, this is to engage with the audience and the viewers in a better way. So we were also doing something similar in our esports as well. So we had built an API system, collaborating with Supercell. So the moment any match was over, we were getting the data in an instant, like in just 3 seconds, we were getting all the data. And we had built different engines that would then modify the data, convert it into insightful, like something insightful, something that you can make sense of. So we would then combine this data and give it to the streamers and different broadcasters that they would then use to interact with the audiences. So I would give, and I gave them one example in this is that, like, we had hit rates, we had average time of attack and different things. And I gave and I gave these as examples. Like, see, we use data to do all of this, and also I have done some certain courses, certain certification courses. And I remember this one course that I did from London Business School,
Mm-hmm.
which is brand management. And I just saw that, I remember different examples from that course that, like for example, town gas in China. So what Gas did is that when they were trying to expand the expansion, how they tried to tap into the different engines of the customer to then try to build a different restaurant, the playbooks, all the things they did. So in summary, I said to them that, look, I just feel that data is very important in all the aspects of companies. It's not just expansion, in everything else. And that is what I aspire to have the knowledge about, just in case, I want to expand my company in future and do whatever it is. So that was my answer about RBA. And then they asked me, like, where do you see yourself in 10 years? So I gave them two answers. I said that, see, I want to do something in renewable energy sector. I just explained my love for renewable energies and the renewability sector, and I just explained what I want to do there. And I also said to them, because I come from a research background and looking at the state of research in India, maybe 10, 15 years later, with the same group of three people that I did my research, if we have enough capital, we want to open a research laboratory that is just open to all the students. People can apply and do their research at our lab and get the results done. They don't have to rely on external sources, because when we were doing our testing, we had to pay like 3,000 rupees for each sample just for it to be tested in the XRD lab, and that's too much. We had 20 samples.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine that. So this was my overall interview about Welingkar.
Yeah. So Himanshu, you wanted to understand about the GD, right? How many people were there? Who were the panelists? What was the topic? How you approached towards GD? And what was the students' reaction in the whole GD?
So yeah, that's a little faded memory, but I'll try to recollect. I mean, my interview was like 3 weeks ago, or 2 weeks ago maybe. So in the GD, the topic that we had was we actually had a case study, not exactly a topic. The case study was like I think 100 words long paragraph, and in that it was explained about a oil spillage that happened in 2010 in the Gulf Sea or something. And then they had two questions at the bottom. So the first question was, I think, about how about sustainability. Should companies approach sustainability? How does sustainability impact the company's processes? And the second question was that discuss about the role of sustainability and how it impacts the businesses, people, profit, and there was another P I cannot remember. So these are the two questions written. They gave us 5 minutes or 10 minutes to just write down our points on the same piece of paper. After which they asked us to stop writing and discuss with the group. And I think there were like 7 to 8 people in the group. And our group was in our group we had like two boys and 6 girls actually. So yeah, 8 people in total.
Mm-hmm.
And so now again, a good GD for someone to have a good GD does not mean that you have to speak continuously for 5 minutes, 10 minutes or
Mm-hmm.
something. That's not the point. The point is that the statements that you're making that has to matter. That should hold some weightage. That should bring something unique to the table. I can't remember my own responses, but I think what I said was that so I was actually kind of contradicting towards the whole case study.
Mm-hmm.
So the first point that I had raised about the whole GD topic is that like, look, this case study is fine, everything is fine, but I just don't see the relationship between this case and the sustainability. While the case studies does say that the oil spillage happened, the company was trying to evade the checks, the policies, and everything. I just raised this point in the GD that okay, but where do we see the role of sustainability in this? I mean, they were just trying to save cost. How do you compare cost saving with sustainable practices for this particular case? While that can be so, this is a good point. That just opens a new discussion for the group to discuss that. Okay, who is for the motion, who is against the motion? And then towards the second question, I asked my group that okay, we were talking a lot about sustainability, but what I want to discuss is that is it actually feasible to have all three stakeholders get benefit from the sustainable practices? So then that is also a good point that I raised. And similarly, other people had their own points. Somebody was talking about similar incidents, and other people were talking about the role of governments. Some other people were raising points about how we as individuals have to contribute on our own for the business for before the businesses and the government can contribute towards a sustainable future. So everybody raised pretty good points on that, and I think that is what matters: raising good points rather than speaking continuously for 5 6 minutes. I mean, if you do that, I think your points might get detected. Give equal chance to other people and raise good points in the GD.
Right. So, Himanshu, what's your piece of advice to all the people who are aspiring for Wellinger and who's gonna have interviews in the upcoming days?
I think I would say is that have good reasons to why you actually want to do an MBA, not just for the interview, but also for yourself. Like, is this really something that you want to do? Because again, if you're looking at the current placement scenario, while it's okay that I see things on Reddit and everything everywhere that the placements is dropping, the things are dropping. Like, just try to understand this. Colleges are not under an obligation to place you, right? They're just doing it because they can, right? And that's a way for them to market themselves. This is and then it comes to you that do you actually want to do this? Do you want to get into MBA or future roles that need an MBA? So if you really want to do this, you better have a good reason for to convince the interviewers. That would be my main thing because they're looking for that conviction. Another thing is that, frame your TMA well. Talk about things that are not in the resume. But while you do that, don't just blabber things that you have not actually done. Have some documents, have something to prove them or convince them. Because if you say something, for example, I was talking about UG sports that I did in my UG. Now, things that you do in your UG cannot be counted as work experience, but I had still registered that company. and I had a experience letter from the person under whom we had registered at that. So I still had some documents or things to verify whatever I was saying. So while it's okay to say anything, but still have some documents. So this would be my piece of advice to people. And also, just calm down. It's easy. The more you freak out, the more bad your interview will go.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Himanshu, for connecting with us and to the discussion of 22 minutes. You shared a lot of resources and lot of things to the people who are aspiring to the Wellinker. I hope the college that you thought about it, you'll definitely get the college. And all the best aspirants who are watching us. Guys, watch this video carefully and understand how Himanshu has processed through whole process and understand what kind of answers that he given in terms of situational questions, behavior questions, technical questions. Just go through it once and you can crack it. That's it from our side, Shivanshu. Thank you so much again for connecting with us.